Hey, what is up, everybody? Happy trade day here. Let me go ahead and I'm going to post this link here. Uh, it is a Lions trade day. Let's see. Hey, Lions fans, come yell at me about the Hawkinson trade. This could get interesting. Let's see if we actually get any folks coming in. So, I'm Mike Vanderpool, director of the film Heart of a Lions Fan. And I'm here today to talk about Lions stuff. I plan on podcasting Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. Seem to be there we go, a little bit brighter here. Seem to be the logical days to do podcasts because that's the days that we have football. And today I'm just fortunate enough. That we are in the middle of tradeness, and I have been on Twitter almost all day acting like a fool. It's just because it's what I do. Yeah, lots of stuff here. I don't even know where to start. Let's see. Let's actually start with the bookmarks. So yeah, Mike Vanderpool, director of the film Heart of the Lions Fan. You can find it on Amazon Prime. I'll also be sharing it out here. Stay tuned, follow, subscribe to this channel. I'm also going to be dropping the film for free here soon through YouTube as well. So, but what I do is I look at Twitter, talk about the news of the day, talk about the Lions. I am a lifelong Lions fan for the most part, but heavy duty really since the Harrington era. But today is a day that will go down in history as the day that the Detroit Lions traded TJ Hawkinson, a first-round draft pick for the Detroit Lions, to the Minnesota Vikings, a divisional rival, for moving up in the draft. Okay, so here we go. Pro Football Talk comes out. This is an interesting one. The Fords have owned the Lions since 1963. If you're looking for the common thread that explains decades of dysfunction and underachievement and 0 playoff wins since 1991, that is it. And I will wholeheartedly concur. The fact that this is from the Pro Football Talk account and not some rabid Lions fan like myself is pretty telling. Lions are a bad organization, folks. We all know this. They've made horrible decisions my entire lifetime. And some of the response today on this Hawkinson trade, yes, Hawkinson should have been traded. Okay, I will give you that. But some of the response, they're working their plan. It's not part of the plan. I'm not sure that the Lions have a plan, and if they do have a plan, that it's not just drawn out in blue crayon somewhere. But let's look at the details here. So Honolulu Blues _ gives us the full trade details. So Lions are going to get 2 picks, a second-round pick and a third-round pick. And the Vikings get Hawkinson and his contract because he's up for renewal, along with 2 of our fourth-round picks. I think one of those is compensatory, but basically we're moving up two rounds in a draft and 1 round in another draft. So great, I think. Except that second-round pick, we've seen how worthless those things have been for us along the way. So this was another one that got to me today. Dan Campbell thinks he may have pushed DeAndre Swift too hard versus the Dolphins. Okay, number one, I'm not sure if they were thinking about trying to trade DeAndre Swift today at all, if they tried to make those moves. But if they were trying to trade Swift and this came out earlier today, this is by far just further proof that the Lions have no clue what they're doing here. Let's see what else. Yep, we fired Aubrey Pleasant yesterday. Great. Somebody's got to go, I guess, when you're this horrible. Mike Payton from POD_Detroit here. He's got lots of great content. So Detroit right now has the first pick, and then because the Rams suck, where did it go? Where did it go? I thought we had an earlier pick. Maybe I got to make the image bigger. Yeah, there we have the 14th pick from the Rams. So we will have 2 first-round picks along with a whole bunch of other picks next draft. I think I saw somewhere we've got like 142 picks out of the first 65, something like that. That's going to be fun for us on draft day. We'll have a whole new team next year, a whole new hopefully we can start the rebuild next year because according to Sham Ford, we are in teardown phase. And I made a comment. It would have really been nice if the Lions would have let the fans know that we were in teardown phase before we dropped all of that money on on season tickets. So here we are, Chris Castellani. The Lions will go 4-13. They'll retain Dan Campbell for no reason, then fire him on Thanksgiving next year. Just watch. Yeah, I can totally see that happening. I think Dan Campbell is a wonderful motivator. I think he could be an awesome coordinator. Is he a head coach in the NFL football? In NFL football, yeah, obviously he's a head coach right now, but is he prepared to be a head coach? I don't think so. He's got a lot to learn, and I don't think that a rebuilding organization wants a coach who needs to learn to be overseeing that rebuild. Now, Lions are probably thinking, well, hey, we need a players coach to keep the players happy during the shitstorm of what we are. But yeah. Anyway, this is an interesting Jeff Schwartz, 8-year NFL veteran, right? Jeff Schwartz is Smarter Than You podcast. Nice. Fat kid living a dream. I love that, Jeff. I don't know how Dan Campbell stays in this job much longer. Honestly, neither do I. But he will, because the Detroit Lions and Rod Wood specifically kept Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn around for 2 extra years, more than they should have. And that really put us in a terrible, terrible position. They're going to keep Dan Campbell around longer than they should, and we will probably be rebuilding since 1957. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a T-shirt, tearing down since 2022. We'll see how many decades that thing lasts. I could. That's actually. I was going to look at my notifications, but those might be kind of gross because I've been all over Twitter today. And I don't know if I'm actually being appropriate on Twitter today, but that's okay. Yes, here we are. Schefter was the one that dropped the news, or at least the thing that I saw first. Trading to Minnesota, man, it's so ridiculous. I get it. I understand he's your best, maybe your best offer from them, but how horrible is it going to be for us to see Minnesota win the division and get a playoff win with TJ Hawkinson catching at least one touchdown in that playoff game? I'm going to put it down right now. Minnesota wins a playoff game, and TJ Hawkinson is part of that victory. And it sucks. It sucks for us as Lions fans because the only thing that we have is hope. And right now we don't have hope. We've got mope. That's what we've got, mope. So here we go. What is this? Bubbles Rainbow 2 and LOL. Music that plays inside my head when someone spams a move in a fighting game does something awkwardly cheesy in the movies or in real life, or when the Detroit Lions make a losing play that costs them the game. That's funny. We should listen to that, but we're not going to. Papa Schefter says the best day will be when you report the Detroit Lions have been sold. That's from Ken L. Michigan Sports. Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like, seriously, folks, let me get real for you real quick, because I take lots of hate, lots of anger, lots of comments on Twitter because I don't think that the Lions will ever win with the Fords as owners. Now, I haven't called for firing Fords because you can't fire the owners, right? It's just not possible. But Sham Ford has kept Rod Wood as president of the Detroit Lions since 2015. If you go back and look at the record since 2015, the Detroit Lions have been on a landslide, plummeting down to this 1-win, 3-win nonsensical seasons over and over and over again. We're looking at another 3-win season if we're lucky this year. Next year, with a whole bunch of rookies, a brand new team, maybe some free agents moves. We'll have a young team that needs time to come together. So by week 8, we'll be excusing the 2 wins, and then we'll probably win maybe 4 games in the second half of next year. So a nice 6-win season, right? Onward and upward, rebuilding. But Rod Wood is the problem, folks. Yes, because we can't fire the owner, but Sheila Hamp Ford should today fire Rod Wood. That is what I think. There's people who think that Rod Wood doesn't make football decisions. I'm going to tell you right now, I know for a fact that you are 100% wrong. And I can tell you why you're 100% wrong, because not one single person. There's one person in the media who's actually been calling out Rod Wood, but the vast majority don't. And that is because the Detroit Lions control the media and the narrative in Detroit with their ad dollars. I will bet my bottom dollar. And do you know who is in charge of those ad dollars? Probably the president. Anyway, what else do we have here? If TJ Hawkinson was a free agent, I'll Go Podcast One asks, if TJ Hawkinson was a free agent, how many teams would pay him $12 million per year? Well, what's interesting is if you look at, I think, the top 10 tight ends, and TJ's borderline top 10, they're all making more than $10 million a year. So somebody's going to pay him. So people are like, well, we don't have to pay TJ next year. Well, you have to pay somebody. So it's not like that 9, 10, $12 million just goes away. You have to pay somebody else. And I would hoping that we pay somebody who's actually competent at the job. But I guess we've got two tight ends just sitting there waiting in the wings for their opportunity to shine. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, to the Vikings, that's great. What else? Swapping draft picks, that's great. Yeah. Well, at least we didn't trade Akuda, right? There was some talk of that. So let's go ahead and look at these notifications. I responded, we got fleeced to Honolulu Blues _, and there are quite a few. There's 86 likes on that. So I think it's about 50-50, the amount of Lions fans who think that we got fleeced and the amount of people who think it's a good move. I do think it is a good move, but I got called a fair weather fan today. That's always fun because, that's what I am. I'm a fair weather fan. I'm only here for the good times. What else do we have from those notifications? This was cool. Jeff Risden replying to Adam Bedorn. I don't know how you say their name. I apologize there. But Hockenson had a 4.5 drop rate. Ebron had a 7.6 drop rate. I think the most interesting thing is going back Pettigrew, Ebron, Hockenson. We have drafted a tight end, I believe, in the first round 3 times, and not one of them has ever been a real contributor to this team, at least for the long term. Lions miss on their draft picks. That's why everybody gets all excited. Oh, we get draft picks. So what? Yeah, I think we hit on Aiden Hutchinson, but if you don't hit with the second pick, you're really horrible. And yeah, we picked up Amon-Ra. Great. He's on my fantasy team. Awesome. Cool. Oh yeah, and don't forget, our offense, our number whatever offense in the league, scoring 30 points a game, has an injured running back, has an aging running back, has one really good wide receiver, Amon-Ra, has a rookie who hasn't played who's going to be coming off injury, and then some barely there pieces that are doing well, and then we have a hit or miss quarterback. Like, this offense needed a solid piece, and TJ, I believe, maybe not the best run blocker. Okay, great. You got a great offensive line. Maybe you don't need him to do all that run blocking. But if they would have used TJ correctly, I think that they could have, I think he could have been a solid piece for this offense. But yeah. Bro, what is this take? That's awesome. Got lots of stuff here. When have the Lions ever traded away a guy they were going to lose for actual draft capital? Yeah, that was a good move. I agree. Kevin, my friend Kevin Lawson, Heart of Lions fan, he's got me convinced that this was a good move, and I believe it. But I don't think it's about this move specifically. That's not where all of this Lions pent up frustration is coming from. It's coming from a 1-6 team that hasn't won shit in decades, that is on this downward trajectory, and we keep getting sold this false bill of hope over and over and over again. And by week 4 of the season, we're talking effing draft. Now we're talking draft. I mean, we were talking draft before, but now there is absolutely zero way that this team should even try to win. So why are you going to the games? Why are you going to overpay for hot dogs on shitty Wi-Fi at a stadium that's okay, but it's going to get cold and gross? See your friends? I mean, that's why I still want to go, because there's a lot of people I'd like to see. But you know what? At the end of the day, you can't even get excited about this team, right? Kyle Meinke posted during the game on Sunday, Lions were up 14-0 against Minnesota. And that's when the train kind of ran off the track this season. Lions were up 14-0 against, who do we play? Miami. Train ran off the track. They don't give you any hope, folks. It's fool's gold. The Detroit Lions are and will be fool's gold. And that's okay. But today was one of those days where everything kind of comes together. We have a first-round draft pick that didn't help us win any games, and that we really don't get anything for trading him. We're no real value out of the first round. And that's on ownership, and that's on the president. That's not on any, you can't blame Bob Quinn anymore, because who let him make that decision? 99% of an organization's success and failure starts with one person at the top, and right now, the person at the top is President Rod Wood. And the fact that the media is not at least even looking and sniffing at the decisions that Rod Wood has made just lets me know that they're all but one under Rod Wood's thumb. And that's that. So I don't know, folks. It's a great day to be a Lions fan. More excitement today than any other day we've had this season. I'm hoping that they can pull it together this year, at least to be respectful. I mean, they are respectful in the games, right? We're not getting blown out, other than Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer Bailey Zappi blew us out, shut us down. But I just want us to be competitive. I want to have hope. I want to see a team that plays with fire. I want to see a coaching staff that doesn't keep making the same mistakes over and over. I'd like to see more accountability from the top and not the bottom. Aubrey Pleasant, okay, great. There's rumblings, whatever, that he just wasn't communicating, wasn't fitting in, wasn't buying into what they were doing. Of course, you got to get rid of him. But remember Sean Jefferson? Remember when Sean Jefferson got a little pissed off on the sidelines and I think ended up getting out of the Lions? I think that the Lions suffer the same fate that a lot of dysfunctional organizations do. They get good people down at the bottom who have a passion and a desire and a drive to make awesome things happen and won't stand for the bullshittery. And those people get driven out or fired or whatever. And the people who continue to make the same dumb mistakes over and over and over suffer zero consequences. So I'm going to leave it with this, Lions fans. I love you. Those that call me names and hate me, that's fine. I love you too. But the Detroit Lions need to fire Rod Wood today and put someone in charge of this team who actually has football knowledge. Someone who understands what it takes to win in this league from the top down. If you're all about winning, then every single position in this organization needs to be a freaking winner. And Rod Wood is not a winner. And you can ask me more about how I know that, and I'll tell you next time. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Appreciate all the comments. You can follow the podcast on Spotify. Yep, the dog's here. Wife's home. So you can follow me on Spotify. Heart of the Lions Fan podcast. The documentary film Heart of the Lions Fan is also on Amazon Prime. But today is a day that will go down in history. The day we lost TJ Hawkinson.